So thank you for joining me. Nobody loves farmers more than GB News. We don't deliberately invite people on this channel to set them up with a gotcha question. But last night, former Tony Blair advisor John McTernan appeared to suggest that if farmers weren't going to do as they're told, then they deserve to go out of business. You might have seen it by now, but if not, here it is.
The farmers still get a privileged status for their farms, and I think that may or may not be right. I'm personally in favour of doing to farmers who want to go on the streets, we can do to them what Margaret Thatcher did to the miners.
So just to be clear, John, you would beat them up? No,
close them. I mean, there's an industry we could do without.
So, okay, all right. So this got weird. So you would do to farmers what Margaret Thatcher did to miners, which was, and she used very heavy-handed police tactics, followed by what? Putting them out of business.
If people are so upset that they want to go on the streets and spray slurry on them, then we don't need the small farmers.
Now, anyone that watches GB News regularly will know that John McTernan can be deliberately provocative, and we love him for that mischief. But on this occasion, he seemed to maybe unwittingly crystallise just why Labour appear to be punishing farmers by changing inheritance tax rules. To be fair, McTernan was speaking for himself and not the Labour Party, which was confirmed today by Keir Starmer when challenged by our very own Chris Hope.
I totally disagree. I'm absolutely committed to supporting our farmers. I said that before the election, and I say it after the election. That is why in our budget last week I was very pleased that we're investing £5 billion of our budget over the next 2 years into farming. That is really important for our farmers, and I will do everything I can to support them, because I think it's essential that they not only prosper, but prosper well into the future. So I totally disagree with those comments.
What is he talking about? He's saying one thing and doing the polar opposite. Maybe the Islington dinner party set only visit the country for a week in Padstow, so shouldn't they be listening to the farmers themselves who are getting ready to spray manure all over Downing Street this time next week? And frankly, good luck to them. Here is one such farmer who needs listening to.
I don't think they have a clue. I don't think they have a clue that the hours that farmers put in all around the country, a lot of unpaid family labour. And you put that now against a backdrop of changing tax, changing legislation, environmental legislation, changing subsidy schemes. There's just so many moving parts in our businesses. And I think it's not any single one of them that's causing this outcry from farmers. It's the sort of summation of them all that actually a lot of people are just saying, well, this is just getting too much. It's just one step too far.
It is a step too far. The question that nobody from Labour seems bothered to answer is, where are we going to get healthy, local, British-grown food if farmers can't survive this pressure? Punishing farmers is going down badly with both the political left and right, and the only people who will be happy are the massive corporations who will buy up all of the farmland and probably put solar panels on them. Let's see what the panel thinks. This evening, joining the studio, delighted to say, still here, Esther Krakow, Bill Remmel and Stephen Wolfe. I don't know whether you saw this last night, guys, on GB News, but if you did, Esther, or you've seen it now, what was your response when you heard what John said? Did you think it made you understand a bit where Labour are coming from on this?
I think it confirmed to me that, one, Labour have no idea what they're doing, and that Keir Starmer really has no judgment. And look, the irony about Keir Starmer being at COP right now and committing the UK to reducing emissions by 80-something percent, but they're trying to cancel North Sea oil drilling contracts, so we'll actually have to import oil and gas from other parts of the world, ironically, which is more carbon intensive, or the fact that if small farmers go out of business, we'll have to import more of our food, which again is not environmentally friendly. They don't know what they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing, and they just say he's just said the quiet part out loud because was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Ray Reeves, the Chancellor, told Sainsbury's.
I've got a problem with your mic, Esther. I'm so sorry. Let me. We're going to try and fix your mics. I want to hear what you've got to say, Bill. Where are we going to get our food? When Labour have destroyed all these family farms and they've all been bought up by massive corporations to build houses on, or solar panel farms, wind turbine farms? Where are we going to buy British-grown food?
Well, we invest £5 billion a year into the farming industry, unlike any other industry in the country. And look, you know, I disagree with what John McTernan said last night. You rightly said he has, and I know him well, he has a reputation for being provocative and challenging, and I think his judgment chip went missing last night. But let's have a reality check. The farmers and their supporters, their reaction to the inheritance tax changes has been hysterical, over the top, and not grounded in the facts. If you look at the reality of the situation, they had a massively preferential inheritance tax deal, unlike any other section of society before the budget, and they've got it after the budget as well. They will be able to pass on £3 million without paying a penny of inheritance tax, and anything above that amount, they get a 50% reduction, and the inheritors get 10 years to pay it. That's a damn good deal.
So why are they making such a fuss then? Because they're greedy?
I think they're being ill-advised by a very concerted farming lobby, and they've been at this for years.
That sounds so patronising, Bill.
No, but
I just can't.
Hold on.
I can't agree
Hold
much,
on, Stephen. Look at the facts. Under the old regime, 2/3 of the tax benefit, and that's what it was, went to just 200 families out of 209,000 farms. The very wealthy, half of them weren't farmers, they were landowners who'd gone into it to get an inheritance tax break.
Steve,
that's not entirely true. I mean, what we have is we have something in the region of 87,000 farmers who are all going to be impacted by this. I know that because I advise on inheritance tax and how to deal with the complex rules that they go. And the 3 million is not really applicable to most of the farmers out there at all. They know that the assets in their farm and the land of their farm is a lot more than that 3 million itself, just to have a farm capable of just being able to survive. And that's, you're looking at prices of needing over 100 acres, 200 acres, 300 acres. That's enough just to keep them going. But it's not just that. And why McTernan? If there's anyone that we don't need, we don't need McTernan when he's making comments like this.
Well, the theory being, I mean, look, John's not here to defend himself. We did ask him if he wants to come back on tonight. I would have loved to discussed it with him. The theory being that maybe he was pitching for a job in Starmer's government.
Well, that's not very hard. All you have to... He may very well get it. He lacks the same judgment as most members of the cabinet. I mean, look, the chance... This idea that it was just a slip of tongue and he didn't really know what he was saying, or he was just trying to be provocative, or actually, you know, members of Keir Starmer's cabinet are really competent. Rachel Reeves told Wetherspoons and Tesco, the CEOs, who confirmed that they're going to raise their prices because they've been slapped with a £1 billion extra tax bill because of NI increase. She told them they can save costs by making use of efficiencies. And I thought, isn't that funny?
You see,
someone in government telling private businesses to make use of efficiencies, and yet the civil service and NHS couldn't waste more money if they tried.
But here we are. We're talking about this billions that are being invested into the farmers. We've seen the farmers now being attacked on what helps them in terms of fertiliser. We're having changes in the rules which will increase the prices of fertiliser. We're looking at energy costs which are going to hammer them because we're now going to put wind farms. And some of those landowners that you're talking about, some of those big landowners, are the ones who are looking at the price that they get to rent the land at £500 an acre from a farmer, but they'll get £1,200 an acre from those who are solar panels. And that's why they're turfing out these people. And the solar panels, where they're getting the money from? Taxpayers. Well, it's a subsidy to put farmers out of business.
Let's take a specific example.
And that's your government policy. Subsidies to put farmers out of business.
Let's take a specific example of those landowners. Jeremy Clarkson, who's proudly written about the fact that the only reason he got into farming was for the inheritance tax break.
Oh, rubbish.
No, that's what he said in the Sunday Times.
That with his tongue in his cheek.
Just like John McTernan, right?
Yeah, and I said, John, John might have been deliberately provocative, but Jeremy Clarkson didn't get into farming just because he could, when he died.
And to choose one example.
That's what he wrote in his column in the...
Have you seen Clarkson's farm?
No, I have.
It's a brutal life with no profit.
And I think farmers work incredibly hard, but I really don't see, in terms of natural justice, why, and it is true, Stephen, as a farming couple, you can pass on £3 million completely inheritance tax-free. I don't see why That is a bad
That's not all
deal
related
when no
to the
one
farm.
else in the country can get it. And I tell you what, for the critics who are saying this is the wrong move, then tell us what other taxes on hard-working people we should put up.
Well,
Or
they
what
just put a
cuts in
tax on
public
NI,
spending.
which is a tax on employing people, which is the same thing. Because guess what?
No.
Hard-working people, thanks to the Chancellor's statements, are going to lose their jobs in Tesco, so they can take advantage of the efficiencies.
Reality.
That is exactly what the
Esther, you
Chancellor
want a
said.
reality check. If this change isn't implemented, which other taxes would you put up? Because that's the way the Treasury
Oh,
works.
you mean? Hold on.
I'd start reducing
Hold on. No.
taxation,
You know what I would do?
cutting the costs
I
of
would,
businesses and allowing
if I
them
was
to
the
grow.
government, I would stick to my manifesto promise because they told us that all of the. Hold on. No. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I would do what the government said they were going to do when they were promising this country the sun and the moon. That all their plans had been fully costed for, and they were bashing the Tories for taxing us more than any other generation in history. And guess what? They did. They quadrupled that. So I'm sorry. They have lied. They have lied to the British public. They have lied. And I'll tell you what I would do. I would stick to my promise.
If you really want to be efficient,
no, that's what they promised the public.
Being in the Treasury is a zero-sum game.
We're not talking about the Treasury. We're talking about the government.
No. And I'm talking about the government. It's a zero-sum game. If you don't put up this tax, you're going to have to put other taxes
They said they weren't going to put up any. They said they weren't going to put up
That's
taxes.
where we are. You explain which other taxes.
No, they said they weren't going to put up
It's not just
taxes.
about putting up taxes, it's about cutting costs. It's about dealing with illegal immigration and cutting out the $8 billion a year that we're paying to have illegal migrants coming here in asylum processes. It's about cutting the efficiency in the civil service, which has grown exponentially. We're going to have 6 million people working in public services now, more than we've ever needed to. We should be doing what Elon Musk...
That's 10% of the population,
We should
by
be
the way,
doing
6 million.
Elon Musk's job and coming in, having a Department of Government Efficiency and slashing them. We should not be paying We should not be having civil servants at senior roles having unfunded pensions of £169,000
I don't know where you guys
a
have
year.
been for the last 14 years. Public services have been cut to the bone. I'm a school governor. I know what happens in school budgets. Go into the National Health Service, the lack of resources. Look at the massive lack of funding for potholes across the country. That's
Then
the
why
real
did the
world.
government say that all
Look
their plans were costed for and they didn't have to raise taxes and then come back and slap employers with a £15 billion tax?
Because there was...
So they lied?
No.
They did lie?
No, it is true that there was a big black hole in the previous
Where is
government
this black
spending
hole?
plan.
Where is this black hole?
Well, I'll give you, for instance, the costs for asylum hotels were underestimated by about 80-fold.
You know how to get rid of those?
And the
Stop these asylum seekers.
Exactly.
There's a clear solution there. Stop putting them in hotels. That's a solution. But instead, no. They took away winter fuel allowances from pensioners.
You can't do that overnight. You can come on panels like this and make glib statements.
You can do it overnight.
The real
say
question
no more
like
asylum
all
applications.
populists.
No more asylum applications. No more fancy hotels. None of it.
Just
That's how
turn
you
the
cut
boats
that
back
cost.
at France and have
Exactly.
the international issue that
They're
we're going
obvious solutions. They just don't want to do it.
The
we can
easy
do.
populist trope.
It's not a populist trope. It's the
Easy
reality.
answers to
They
very
are willing to
complicated
let
And we're
pensioners
gonna
freeze
watch
to
it
death,
happen in
but they
America.
don't want to take away hotels from asylum seekers. That is laughable.
It is.
That's
but
laughable.
As Stephen said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in America because Trump has gone right, we have gone left.
Yeah,
and
in
if
America.
this starts to do well in America, Starmer's going to be batting on a very sticky wicket.
Wait until the public services break down in the States where Trump runs
Please.
the system.
Right, listen, everyone, there's just 2 weeks left to grab a chance to win Christmas